King of the Hill. Let's step into the huddle.
You're listening to the PreSnap Podcast, brought to you by LineStar app, the top-rated DFS tool set and #1 companion for DraftKings, FanDuel, and Yahoo Daily Fantasy. Go LineStar Premium now at LineStarApp.com. Now here are your hosts, fantasy football experts Joe Pisapia and Scott Bogman.
Hey, yo, what's up, everybody? It's me, Joey P, Joe Pisapia, and welcome to the PreSnap right here on the LineStar app. It is me, it is Scott Bogman, and it's you, and we're recapping Week 12 and hot taking Week 13. Oh, baby, what a week of scoring it was. Scott Bogman, some fun times there, and of course, your Pittsburgh Steelers have still yet to play, which is, we kind of said it last week on the show. We said, something tells me this is not going to happen on Thursday. Something tells me it's not going to happen even on the weekend. We thought Monday. No, Tuesday. Wednesday afternoon. I know I love football on a Wednesday afternoon. How about you?
I mean, when was the last time a game was scheduled and then played 6 days after it was scheduled? I don't know that that's ever happened in the NFL. So I'm sure it has at some point, but I don't remember it happening.
Probably 9/11. Like that's
honestly, well, they pushed everything back. That was, I think, at least a week.
Or wasn't there a pushback too with the fires in California one year?
I don't think there was a pushback, but I do remember that the Dolphins played the Chargers at Sun Devil Stadium, because I remember thinking, I need to get out of work to go see Ricky Williams play, because when is this ever going to happen again? A team plays in a different stadium. And obviously that has been playing out a ton this year. And we are also going to see the Niners host some games at, State Farm Field here in Arizona. So
there you go. Is Welsh going to go?
2020 rolls.
Is our boy Welsh going to go to those games now or what?
No,
he's not going to. I wonder if Ricky Williams was partially responsible for setting ablaze some of the fire. So I'm just putting that out there.
He sparked many a fire, but I don't think any of them were forest. So,
all right, let's get after it and let's chat a little bit about obviously the week that was, and scoring was not a problem. We talked quite a bit about fading the very top with Dalvin Cook and instead going really tough on the Chubb and Henry pairing. And if you did that, it was good. Now, it could have been way better for me. I sent you some screenshots of lineups that had that together. With Derek freaking Carr getting me 1.6, and I just,
I could feel the frustration through the phone.
Well, because it's a difference of $20 and $2,000. You know what I mean? Like that's the kind of difference it was. And to think that my other quarterback was Cousins, and I was like going back and forth and saying, no, Carr's been so steady, and if Dalvin Cook has a good game, it's probably gonna be less Cousins and no Adam Thielen. I'm just gonna play it safe with Derek Carr. There was no safe there. But the other thing that was great too, we talked. And rarely do we on the show go gaga over the Chiefs, but we did last week. And if you had Mahomes and Hill, which is what we did, and we talked about it, you done good there too. You had to have Tyreek Hill, boy. Oh my goodness. Last week was best Taysom Hill lineup. This week was best Tyreek Hill lineup. And thankfully all of those lineups cashed as well. But, it's a no-brainer there. The way the secondary for Tampa had been playing, it would be crazy not to go and attack that, and it would be crazy not to pay up for Mahomes and Hill. And once again, if you did that, you done good.
Yeah, and there was actually room for Tyreek Hill to score a little more, too. That game was this is what I hate about hooks. The line was the Chiefs by 3.5, and they won by 3, of course. So super obnoxious there, but at least Tyreek Hill is putting up big days for people. Single-handedly won me a league. So
yeah, 100%. 100%. And look, the other things that we loved last week, too, Wayne Gallman got another touchdown. I mean, it was a really good week for us last week. There's no doubt about that. Even simple, stupid things worked out too. And, when it comes to simple and stupid, that's me and Boggs. I mean, it was crazy once you got the news about Denver to not go in on the Denver defense. But at the end of the day, it wasn't even the Denver defense. It was the Falcons defense. Falcons defense, 5 sacks, 4 fumble recoveries, a pick, and a touchdown. You want to take a guess at the ownership percentage or roster percentage of the Atlanta Falcons D in the $1 million contest?
I mean, it had to be hovering around 1%.
0.8.
0.8. Yeah.
What?
They've been bad all year. Actually, you know what? I shouldn't say that. Since Raheem Morris took over, they've been playing inspired defense. They're 4-2 since he took over.
They played better on the line. That's where they've played better. They still can't tackle
they
anybody.
Put pressure on the quarterback.
Right, but they played better on the line, which when you have a terrible secondary and nobody tackles anybody, you better get to the quarterback.
Right. And they should be 5-1 under Raheem Morris. If Todd Gurley just would have, fallen over at the one instead of scoring, it would be 5-1 under Raheem Morris. I think he's definitely going to get that job.
Yeah, I think you're right. I don't know if it's the right call, but I think it's where the direction is going. The $1 million contest winner on FanDuel, Patrick Mahomes, check. Nick Chubb, check. James Robinson, always good. I mean, James Robinson. Man, I mean, next year going in, do you feel confident about him being your number one running back on your fantasy team?
Oh,
I know it's a tough question. I don't yet, but why? Why don't I? What's wrong with me? I should.
Well, here's the thing is that running backs is so unbelievably replaceable. And would you put it past Jacksonville to draft a high-end running back, even though they have James Robinson? I mean, they've made some poor decisions in the past, but Caldwell is gone.
And what happens with the QB? What happens with the coach? What happens? Right. What do they look like after all that? I think it's just going to be so different in Jacksonville next year that it's hard to take something from this year and put it into next year already. Yeah. Anyway, Tyreek Hill, Justin Jefferson, Curtis Samuel, another guy we've been talking about quite a bit. Trey Burton had another decent game there. He scored a touchdown. That's all you need. I will go back to that this week too before we hot take stuff. Latavius Murray, that was another one. 1.4% rostered. I'll tell you, you can take those Kamara shares right now and stick them because Latavius Murray and Taysom Hill are running this offense, literally running this offense. And then the Falcons, obviously, 28 points. 28 points for the Falcons defense. Unbelievable.
Yeah, I mean, I think the most unpredictable thing there is the Falcons defense, because even though they've been playing better, they haven't had a game like this. And I got to tell you, I have Latavius Murray backing up in a bunch of leagues, and I fired him in there in a bunch of lineups because I just thought, well, they're going to be up big in the second half. They probably aren't going to want to play Kamara so much with this foot injury. And so I fired him in the lineup after all those Broncos quarterbacks got sick, and it really paid off for me. So
yeah,
love that pick.
On the DK side, $1 million contest, Baker Mayfield is a quarterback. Baker Mayfield threw his first touchdown pass since week 7. Okay. I mean, unbelievable. And yet, look, they have 8 wins, right? Don't they have 8 wins? I know it sounds wrong me saying it out loud, but it's true.
They're 8-3, but I think against the spread, they're probably under 5.
8-3. They're 8-3. Derrick Henry, Nyheim Hines, who we were definitely on, especially in PPR. Tyreek Hill, of course, was in every big contest winning lineup. Jefferson again. You see a lot of usual suspects here. Landry, the Landry Mayfield. Who saw that coming? Yeah.
Yeah.
31 points from Landry.
Amazing.
Yeah,
because that was his first touchdown of the year. Landry.
Yeah, and this lineup also for $2,800 free square. We always talk about taking free squares there with the tight ends. You saw Trey Burton. Here's Kyle Rudolph, 2,800, 7 catches for 68. It was a smart play considering Thielen's out. Somebody else has got to catch some targets. Oh, look, our good friend James Robinson showed up in the DK $1 million winner as well. And, of course, the Saints defense, who had 14 points, not nearly as many points as the Atlanta Falcons defense, but still pretty good lock. So those were your winners. And
I mean, the Saints defense did allow 1 pass completion, so they were pretty strong themselves.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good. And look, week 12 was a very high low, right? I mean, it was like you had the prolific Mahomes and Hill, prolific Chubb and Henry, and then on the flip side, you had just like the Denver Broncos. Yeah, like things are just like, ew, gross. Like, what's going on here? You had
then Derek Carr, right?
Derek Carr, right? Exactly.
Well,
how frustrating is that? Because they had been rolling. I'm gonna vent for a second if I can, because I had Waller, I had Aguilar, I had Carr. I still cashed with all those jabronis in the lineup. Well, but jabronis nonetheless this week. How much of a turd is that to go in there against Atlanta and just be so bad? And I know Jacobs wasn't healthy and came out of that game, but still. Boggs, that was just despicable compared to how consistent they'd been, especially Carr.
This is any given Sunday. That's what it is when you play that bad.
You're a quarterback, Derek.
You're a quarterback. You're not a flash in the pan wide receiver.
You're a leader of a team. That's what you are.
Yeah, when Carr plays that bad, I mean, they just have no chance. And look, you got to give credit where it's due, and you got to give it to Atlanta's defensive line for once this year. They impacted this game on a great level. Deion Jones with the pick six. They really got after Carr and made him gun shy, which is what he had been suffering through the last 2 seasons in a row after looking like a guy that we were going to put at the top of our keeper list and stuff like that with the Raiders before. Now, who knows what we're going to get this week out of Derek Carr. I'd expect him to round back into form, but I mean, what form is that? That's the question. He's becoming
I don't know. I thought they were.
Are you putting
different.
Derek Carr on the mantle with Kirk Cousins as far as inconsistency goes?
No, because Kirk Cousins is at least, been in the playoffs and things. Like, I don't know. No. I'll take Kirk Cousins any day over Derek Carr. And I know he has his pitfalls. But you know what? Kirk Cousins had a stretch last year where he had the same stats as Russell Wilson.
Right.
Where they were talking about his MVP. Derek Carr hasn't had a stretch like
guy
that.
Like, he can get hot and carry your team to a Super Bowl.
He's in the hot streak.
Shocked.
Look,
right.
It's going to come crashing down maybe this week. As soon as this week it could happen. It could happen right after the show. But for now, I'm going to ride the wave because every year there's a Kirk Cousins wave. And you just got to be smart enough to ride it. All right, let's start hot take in week 13 because week 12 is in the dust now. Let's start here with the 8-3 Cleveland Browns. I can't still believe that against the 8-3 Titans, which I can believe. And here we go. This is going to be smash mouth running back football, right? Chubb and Henry going head to head. Would you double dip here? I know last week we did this, but would you go down to the well again and have these two guys just battle it out, or are you going to favor one of these two running backs?
I mean, it's not a great matchup for either one of them. The Browns going to get Myles Garrett back this week as well. But if I had to pick one, it's Derrick Henry. He's just running downhill right now. Going to be a little more expensive as always because he doesn't have Kareem Hunt next to him, but the 3 touchdowns and all that good stuff. Also, Tannehill isn't playing his best right now. So give the ball to Derrick Henry. And this, like you've always said, Joe, this is the time of year in December. It's the Derrick Henry season. So
once it turns fall, that's what happens. All the Christmas decorations come out. Derrick Henry starts running over people. That's what happens. Good news for the Raiders is they get the Jets this week. So there's your get right game. We'll see if, we'll see who's playing running back for the Raiders. A little too soon to know that, but we'll follow up on that as time goes. But the Jets are terrible. Darnold came back last week. He put up 3 points. Whatever. So hopefully this is a get right game for the Raiders. But if Jacobs isn't 100%, do you feel good about Booker? And do you feel good about also maybe Derek Carr bouncing back?
Yeah, I mean, I feel good about whatever healthy part of the Raiders is going to play against the Jets this week. The Jets had been playing better on offense. Defense is still not great. So they did hold the Dolphins to 20 points, but with their backup quarterback and running back issues and all that stuff. So I think I'm good to go with starting Raiders against the Jets.
All right, let's continue on here. Jaguars against the Vikings. Look, Robinson travels. I love his price this week, especially on FanDuel. I'm just going to keep doing it because the guy's just been good. They're a 1-10 football team, but James Robinson is a shining star. Jefferson is also a star. I'm going to go with Cousins again this week and try to, now watch. This will be the week where it all comes crashing down against the Jaguars and nobody saw it coming. But I think that's unlikely. The Vikings really screw the pooch there. Because if they had beaten the Cowboys, they'd be 6-5, and they'd be right there, man. They'd be right in the thick of things. With 5-6, still kind of frustrating. But I will be in on Cousins. I will be in on Jefferson, and I will be in on Robinson on this game. I can tell you that.
I'm Cook is going to have an enormous game here. So
if he's healthy,
I think he'll be fine. So. I mean, look, I think he just likes the blue tent. I think he just likes hanging out in there during the game. So, let's get in the blue tent. Okay. I think he'll be okay. The Jaguars can't stop the run, 29th in the league. So,
do they have like cool glow in the dark stuff there? Like tents we used to make when we were kids, like that?
Yeah,
kind of stuff?
yeah. They probably have like those glow in the dark stickers and all that stuff in there. So, it's probably great. That's really great when you're shot up with goofballs. I've heard. So,
that's how I start every podcast. Just incredible amount of goofballs. All the goofballs right here. That's
Joe always wishes he was at the planetarium, and I have to say, no, we're still doing the show, so no planetarium today.
Cassiopeia. That's why they called me that in high school. All right, let's do Bengals and Dolphins. Here we go. Hot take. Ryan Fitzpatrick should play quarterback rest of the year for the Dolphins, because after this week, they've got the Chiefs, they've got the Patriots, they've got, I think, a road game in Las Vegas, a road game in Buffalo. I love Tua and all, but I think if they really want to be serious about trying to get in this dance, they're 7-4. I think Fitzpatrick against those coaches and those defenses in that scenario, I really think it's better. I think they have a better chance with Fitzpatrick. And I again, you have to make a choice. Do you want to have the development of Tua, or do you want to get in the playoffs? I think that's the question you have to ask yourself if you're Flores.
Yeah, and honestly, like for fantasy purposes, we want Fitzpatrick in there. We don't.
Yeah, 100%. Yes.
We don't want to be doing the learning dance with Tua. So I'm with you on that. He really felt like it was his team as well. So hopefully that's what they go with, but I don't think they are. I think once you make that switch, it's hard to go back. So, unless you're Matt Nagy, and he's getting fired at the end of the year anyway, so it doesn't really matter for him. So, yeah, I understand what you're saying, but they're going to go right back to Tua. So it's hard to trust anyone in that game.
Yeah, don't like it. Don't like it at all. I hate the number in it too. It's like 11. Like I'm not what. Dolphins 11-point favorites over anybody? No, sorry. I know the Bengals aren't good, and I get it, but still.
Yeah, but they just, I was super confident about the Giants, and the Giants couldn't hold up this week. Of course, Daniel Jones got hurt.
Well, but
who
still.
knows?
Not like I said, not a feel good. Colts and Texans. So Will Fuller's gone, so that happened. Oh God, Rich Rebar, by the way, on Twitter had the best comment about that. He said, "Whatever Will Fuller was taking this year, the NFL should make legal." That was the line of the century. Certainly the line of 2020. I thought that was it. I was, because he's just never on the field, and he's been healthy all year. He's been great. Now look, Colts coming off a bad loss at home. Michael Pittman was very disappointing. We'll take an L on Michael Pittman. That was shocking. T.Y. Hilton showed up.
9 targets. He had 9 targets, Joe. But they just could not. They just couldn't get the ball to him.
No, and I will say QT is $4,800. He's gonna get targets. He might drop a couple because that's QT, but I think it's a risk worth taking. And I think also Wilkins and Hines are both in play too, because the Texans are just that bad. If you choose to actually run the football against them, you will be successful. So those are kind of the early takes for me. How about you?
Yeah, the Colts are super frustrating. You want to play everyone here against the Texans, right? So, but I think I'm going to go back to the well on Pittman. I think I'm okay with that. And I'm also okay with Brandon Cooks in this game. QT, I'm a little wary about. But if Jonathan Taylor's good to go, I want to put him back out there too. So I love Hines.
If Taylor's healthy, yes, that's different.
Exactly.
All right, Lions at Bears. Gross. I tell you what, though, Montgomery had a good line. If Trubisky's playing quarterback again, I think I would go to Montgomery against the Lions, because the Lions, they've just now you can have the Lions fired everybody, and now they're going to not turn things around, but typically
inspired. We see the Falcons.
We've seen it,
right?
We see the Falcons do it. We even saw the Houston Texans do it. So hey, maybe the Eagles should try it. See if they could shake a tree a little bit.
They really need to too. Some of that play calling is horrific. Okay, so I have a hard time. I love Montgomery. I'm the biggest Montgomery fan. I have a hard time going back to him because the majority of his yards came on that big first play. It was like 57 yards down to the 2 or something. So
yeah, I know, but I think he's capable of that if you give him 20 carries.
I think he's going to break one. And the Lions are bad against the run. For whatever reason, I'm going to play that. I'm going to play Montgomery in my cheap risk it all lineup. That's what I'm doing in a tournament play. My cheap risk it all lineup. That's where I'm going to throw in Montgomery. I'm not putting him in on any big money lineups. That's for sure.
I'll tell you what, man. You can put Montgomery in QT and then get whatever the hell you want.
That's true.
And in terms of volume, it's responsible. Might not have the highest ceiling, but it's going to have opportunity at the very least. Saints and Falcons, second time now in 2 weeks, basically, these teams are going to face off. So look, honestly, right now, the Saints, from a fantasy perspective, are not very tantalizing. I'm not feeling it. The price is not a good return on investment. I know Thomas, did have a decent return that first game, but Latavius Murray's interesting. And with the Falcons, Ito Smith seemed to be the guy last week carrying the football. But I don't know. This is another game where I'm just
I don't want any of this game.
I got nothing.
I don't want any side of it. Like Atlanta missing Todd Gurley, and they played better without Todd Gurley. So maybe Ito Smith and Brian Hill are going to get some more carries in here. Calvin Ridley did just okay. I mean, they put up 40 whatever points, like 43 points last week, and the offense didn't look great while they were doing it. So the Saints have a good defense. They know they have to play well on defense to stay in this game with Taysom Hill at quarterback. I don't like any part of this unless we hear that Jameis Winston is going to be the starter this week because they've been so ineffective with Taysom Hill on offense. So if that happens, then I'm back in on Michael Thomas and Alvin Kamara and all the fun pieces of New Orleans. But I doubt that's going to happen because they're 2-0 with Taysom Hill. So I don't want any part of that game.
Yeah, I'm with you. Seahawks and Giants, so it's going to be Colt McCoy probably for this one. Now, Wayne Gallman was good again. We talked about him. He was 5,700 last week. He had another touchdown. That's 5 weeks in a row, baby. I think he can get another one here. I'm going to keep rolling the dice, baby. Dick Vitale style with Wayne Gallman, baby, who's looked so much better running the football than he did last year. When Saquon went out last year, he was just a jag. This year, he seems much. Maybe
I think a lot of the pieces of that line got better. They drafted Andrew Thomas. Will Hernandez is in his second or third year now. Like the line is playing better for the Giants. They're still not playing great, but they're playing better. So I'm with you on Gallman. Also, I mean, just DK Metcalf is an auto start pretty much every single week. Hopefully someone gives him a great compliment, like he's almost as good as Calvin Johnson this week. So he gets a chip on his shoulder and goes out there and catches 10 more balls for 200 yards. So, because that's what did you see that? Jim Schwartz said, man, I had Calvin in Detroit. You're not there yet, but you're on your way, son, or something like that. And he said, I took that as an insult. I was like, what? Are you kidding me? So interested to see what color hair he has this week as well.
It worked. Whatever you got to do to motivate yourself, you do it. And by the way, I had the Calvin Johnson stats, if you will, in terms of how close were they and how close were those guys potentially. Through the first 27 games, Calvin Johnson, 95 catches, DK 116 catches, Megatron 1,600 yards, DK 1,900 yards, 11 touchdowns for Calvin, 16 for DK. So I know it's a different game now, but it's more wide open now than it was, without a doubt.
And Matt Stafford's great, but Russell Wilson.
By the way, Randy Moss, 111 catches, 1,900 yards, and 23 touchdowns.
Dude, I remember watching Randy Moss at a sports bar just every Sunday go crazy. That
guy was so much fun. Guy was so much fun. But look, Seahawks in this one, I think with Carson back too, he becomes an interesting piece for me because, when Carson's there, they're undefeated this year whenever Carson plays. And I think just that physical edge he brings a little bit, their ability to balance out the offense, not put everything on Russell Wilson, take some pressure off the defense. Jamal Adams is back healthy too. That's been a huge difference maker. He gets to the quarterback. So this is, should be a smash game for the Seahawks, but we shall see. We've seen smash games before on paper.
Better against the Seahawks, Carson Wentz or Colt McCoy?
Oh God, probably Carson Wentz still, but I don't know.
Okay.
The bar's been set pretty low.
Yeah, it has. We need to get James Cameron to go. We don't even need James Cameron to go get it. We just need
God, that's a
Michael
great
Phelps can get it. So
that's a great episode of the lowering of the bar. It's so good. The Rams and the Cardinals. Again, the freaking Rams, right? Every week I say, just forget. I don't want to pick the Rams. I don't want to look at the Rams. Cam Akers had another touchdown. That's great. I don't think Kyler Murray's healthy. Just putting it out there. Kenyon Drake's been excellent though lately. Last 3 games, he's leading the league in goal line carries, and also red
the Rams
carries.
Are 4th against the rush. They're 2nd in total yards, 3rd against.
They are. This is like
I don't want anything to do with many Cardinals
another
this
one.
week.
It's like all the things you like conflict, and I don't want to deal with it.
Yeah, I'm okay with contrarian starts on Goff and Woods and the Rams, even Akers, I might throw in there as well. I think he's going to start getting more carries. But even if he doesn't get more carries, they keep giving him that late run against tired defenses, I think, to boost his confidence. So he should be running against a tired defense as well. So I like the Rams in this game. I think the Niners are their kryptonite, and they're going to get back on the winning track.
Yeah. Patriots, the Chargers, the Pats are the early 1-point favorite in this one. And look, the Pats are unnerving. Everything they do comes down to the last second of a game, and the Chargers can't close at all. Right. And the Chargers can't hold on to a lead. So this is another one from a DFS standpoint. Infuriating. I don't think I could find a gauge for it. Maybe Eckler. We'll see. And then, of course, you got the Eagles and Packers closing things up here. And the Packers, I think, are going to Packers D, baby. Carson Wentz is a turnover machine. Yeah. And they can't win with a bad offensive line if you're going to run the football 6 times. You can't get Miles Sanders the ball 6 times and think you're going to win football games. I'm sorry.
Well, he did drop 2 passes that were terrible.
I know, but
you
still,
got to give him the ball 15
you got to get him the ball 15, 20 times.
Yeah.
That's what they did last year when they went on that run and they got to the playoffs. Am I right or am I right?
Yeah, no, you're right. The coaching in Philly has been horrendous. Also, if you can't do a 3-step drop without your quarterback getting hit, roll him left, roll him right, put in the more mobile quarterback and Jalen Hurts, do something. And
how about some RPOs? How about something, man?
Anything besides 3-step drop sack, do that. So, yeah, I mean, this is a Green Bay walk. I think you could probably fire up, even though Philly's D really did play well last night for how bad they were on offense.
Well, look, their front's always very good too. Fletcher Cox is still a great player. I think that's
I'm okay. Like Devontae Adams should smoke Darius Slade just like Metcalf.
Oh my gosh. So it's gonna be a rough 2 weeks. Darius Slade's gonna need a vacation after this one, I tell you.
Maybe he'll opt out after this week.
If I was him, I would. All right, so that'll do it for us right now. We want to remind everybody, go over to the LineStar app, download the LineStar app, and upgrade to the premium product and start winning some cash, the best DFS tool site in the history of the universe. And in the meantime, you can also follow us on Twitter at Bogman Sports, at Joe Pisapia17. That'll do it for us. We'll be back again on Thursday for DFS preview and Friday for the wagering. Make sure you subscribe to the PreSnap wherever you get your podcasts, and that way you can get us all the time. So for Bogman, I'm Joey P. We'll see you next time, kids. There's nothing left to do now except down, sit, win.
You've been listening to the PreSnap Podcast brought to you by LineStar. Hit subscribe, drop a review, tell a friend, and stay tuned for the next episode from fantasy football experts Joe Pisapia and Scott Bogman.